Hello my friends, we are going to get ready together today. I don't have like a clear idea of really what I want to do today, so we are just going to figure it out as we go. I'm going to use some of the products that I picked up during the Sephora sale that I've absolutely been loving, and let's just get right into it. I'm going to prime my skin with my Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas. I mentioned in my last video that this is part of a base duo that I just cannot get enough of. I feel like this primer just makes my skin look airbrushed, and I am so here for that. While that kind of sets, I'm going to prime my eyes with my Milani eyeshadow primer. This is just my good old standard. I also really love the Fenty Beauty one, but I feel like I go through that pretty quick. And the Milani is just so much more affordable, and the quality is incredible. For my base, we're going to go in with the Haus Labs foundation. I think we're going to mix in some Flawless Filter today. I'm going to use the shade 2.5 Fair. I also have shade 2. So what I do is I just apply some all over like that, and then I go in with my foundation and then I blend it all together. My favorite way to apply most foundations is I apply a pump on the back of my hand, and then I go in with my foundation brush and get that product loaded up and then go into the complexion. I'm using my Anissa Pinnacle foundation brush. Has this really cool triangle shape. I'm sure you've seen it all over social media. It really is so deserving of all the hype. I don't know how, but this really is the best foundation brush I have ever used. It gives such a flawless, seamless application. I always make sure to take plenty down my neck so that everything blends together. You never want to have a harsh line where your foundation stops. And this foundation just looks so skin-like. Okay, I'm going to use a tiny bit more for my forehead. Oh, look at how healthy and radiant the skin is looking already. I mean, we had a good glow going on from skincare, but this just adds to it. I love it. Next, we're going to go in with my Holy Grail concealer, the Natasha Denona High Glam, in the shade Y2. This really just is the concealer to end all concealers for me. And then my favorite way to blend my concealer in is with a beauty blender. This is just so lightweight. It gives so much coverage and hydration. It wears beautifully. It's extremely crease resistant. I heard Natasha Denona hint that she might be coming out with a foundation in this formula, or like in this line, and that would be amazing. Another thing I love about this concealer is that you can wear it with like a full coverage glam foundation, or you can wear it with a super light coverage skin tint. It blends into anything and it doesn't look like crazy out of place. I also like to take what's left over on my beauty blender and take some up on my eyes to kind of help cover up some of the veins that show through. To set my under eye concealer and my T-zone, I'm going to go in with my Laura Mercier translucent ultra blur powder. This is just such an incredible powder. My favorite way to set it is with a little triangle puff. These are from Amazon, and what I do is I just put one dab in. Ooh, that's kind of a lot, and then I work it into my hand. This is a trick that I learned from Rose and Ben. And then make sure that any creases, and then gently just press over that concealer to blur and set the area. That makes such a difference. I also will press around my nose, and then to set my forehead, I just want to set like over my expression lines to help blur them out and to also help product not to settle in there and cause creasing. And then I just take what's left over and go over kind of like the smile line area. Next up, I do my brows. I always find it so interesting to watch how other people do their makeup routines and what order they go in. I'm going to use my Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Retractable Brow Pencil. I use the shade Ash Brown. And this is one that has a triangle tip. These are my favorite because I just find that they're so much faster than a micro pencil, and they can really help me like sketch out the shape that I want. And I really do not enjoy filling in my brows, so the faster I can get it done, the better. I will say that the way I've been doing my brows lately is like my favorite that I've ever done them, because I've been using brow serums. I feel like it's really helped like fill my brows back in a little bit, grow the hairs that I already have, and because I used to have like such thin eyebrows. My eyebrows never really recovered from the early 2000s. And I want to keep them looking like as natural as possible while creating some structure, framing the face, but not going too crazy or like too far outside of where my natural brow hairs are growing. So that is about it for the brows at this point. I'm gonna go in with brow gel later when I'm done with using powders around the area, and then I'll kind of shape them a little bit more and fill in some sparse areas. Next, let's do some bronzer because I am feeling super pale. I think I'm going to use this little duo from Jouer. This is a powder duo, and it is their light to medium. I love that they give you two shades in here. First, let's go in with the darker shade. I like to do that to really bronze and give some structure to the face. And then I like to use the lighter shade to kind of like blend it in, kind of like a bronzer transition shade, if you will. To apply my bronzer, I'm using this Dalton contour brush. It's so nice and fluffy, but still dense enough that you can really get dimension where you want it. And it's so soft. I'm filming this the weekend before Thanksgiving. We are going to be hosting my in-laws. So I'm just finalizing our menu and working on grocery lists. We're also putting up some Christmas decorations. I'm not going crazy because I still have a lot of fall stuff out. I love fall and pumpkins and just all the fall vibes, but we're putting up like our lighted garlands, and we put up our Christmas tree. But we're not decorating it, so it's just a pre-lit Christmas tree that will be up to twinkle and shine while we get ready for Thanksgiving. I used to be a person who was like, no way, absolutely no Christmas decorations up until after Thanksgiving. But as I've gotten older, now we're gonna go in with the light one. I find myself, especially like post-pandemic, I find myself just yearning for that Christmas magic and that Christmas spirit sooner and sooner in the year. So anything that helps draw that in to my home and my heart, I'm okay with. I want to use my Urban Decay Moon Dust palette on camera. I don't know if I've used this on camera yet, so we're going to do an eye look with this, but as you know, it is just glitzy, shimmery goodness. So I need some mattes to build up the crease and set up the look. And I've really been loving this Dominique Cosmetics Transition palette. I'm not sure if this is like part of her regular lineup. I'll have to check. It has this gorgeous big mirror. But really just, this is such a good staple matte palette. The formula is incredible. So first I'm gonna go in to Caramel as my transition shade. And to apply that, I'm gonna use my favorite like crease transition brush. This is from Units, which is available on Beautylish. If you follow me on Instagram, you see these brushes in my Get Ready With Me videos all the time. They are so soft, so fluffy. They're just perfectly cut and packed and made, and they're like crazy affordable. Alright, I went ahead and blended that shade onto my other eye. Now I'm going to go in with this shade Toffee with a Sigma E25 blending brush. This is another one of my absolute favorites. It's a must-have in my collection. It is such a workhorse. I love the shape. It can blend into the crease really well, and it's also really great for just packing color on the lid and then blending. Perhaps I should zoom you guys in while we're doing the eyes. Hopefully that's better. And then I take just a little bit to smoke and smudge on the lower lash line. Next, I'm going to take my Units 309 brush. This is just a little bit smaller version of the one I used earlier. It's really great for crease work to add depth. We're gonna go into the shade Mocha to add a little more depth and definition to the outer third of the lid and the crease. I'm gonna go back in with that crease brush with no additional product and just make sure I have no harsh edges. I'm also gonna go in with my e.l.f. C eyeshadow brush. This is so old, but it is like my holy grail for highlighting my brow bone. I'm gonna go in with the shade Frothy to just give the brow bone a little bit of a highlight. Now, I've been going back and forth on what shade to use from this gorgeous palette, but I think we're gonna do Space Cowboy. It's just so pretty. You can apply these with a dry brush. I find that using my finger gives me the least amount of fallout and the most impact, and you really do not need a lot. I just swirl my finger around a couple times in the pan. Oh, look at how pretty. These, I'm convinced that there is magic in these eyeshadows. The wet looking, glimmering dazzle that this gives your eyes is just incredible. So I don't want to like play with it and spread it out too much because that can also increase fallout. So I'm just applying it in small areas, kind of pressing and swiping a little bit. I don't know if the full impact of the beauty is going to show up on camera. I'll try to get a shot in some different lighting so we can truly appreciate the beauty. All right, we're gonna keep it there for now. I'm gonna do my eyeliner, and then if I want to punch it up a little bit more, we'll go back in then. I try not to apply, when I'm doing like a really shimmery, glittery, metallic look, I try not to apply too much of the shadow at first because I don't want my eyeliner to end up looking all sparkly. Today I'm gonna use my Pixie by Petra Endless Silky Eye Pen in the shade Black Cocoa. This is one of my absolute favorite eyeliners of all time. It glides on like butter. It is so effortless. And because it's a pencil, I like to do the wing first and then go in and line the rest of my eye. Ooh, I also like to curl my eyelashes before I do my eyeliner, because the eyeliner can sometimes rub off my eyeliner. Or did I say that right? The eyelash curler can sometimes rub off my eyeliner. And then I have to go in and fix it. And the eyelash curler that I'm using is the Tweezerman Rose Gold. It is by far my favorite for my eye shape. It just fits it so well. I also have the Shiseido one, but that one pinches my eyes a little bit. The shape isn't as good as this one. Okay, now that the eyelashes are curled, I'm gonna go in and do my eyeliner. Look at how smoothly that glides on. And it gives you some time to work with it, and then it sets and it stays in place all day long. The brush that I'm using to smudge it out is from Scott Barnes, and I'm actually not sure if it's still around. It's his number 60 brush, and I cannot do my eyeliner without this brush. I really hope it's still around. I will do the other side. Try to get it even. The struggle is real even after all these years. It's not perfect, but it's looked worse. Okay, now I'll fill in my lash line. I go through phases where I like really thick, dramatic eyeliner, and phases where I want it to be a little thinner, a little softer. And right now, it might not look like it, but I'm trying to do it thinner. Alright, we're going to do mascara next. I'm going to use the Anastasia Lash Sculpt. I've been loving this. This came in an Ipsy bag. This is a new launch for the brand, I believe. It's just so good. Here is what the wand looks like. Just a standard mascara wand. I'm trying to remember what the claims for this are. I think it's like lift and volume and length. My number one and number two things I look for in a mascara are that it won't drop my curl. That's number one. And number two is I like a lot of volume. I love a dramatic lash look. I use a lash serum to grow my lashes, so I don't necessarily need it to be really lengthening. And if you guys are curious about what lash serum I'm using right now, I'm currently using the Grande Lash. I've tried quite a few different ones, like searching for the one, and I'm planning on doing like a rankings video, like diving into the ingredients and the results that they gave me So let me know if that's something that you guys would be interested in. I'm just gonna do my top lashes for right now. I'll do my bottom lashes after I apply setting spray because I don't want it to run and smudge underneath. I usually end up applying 2 coats of this, and it gives me all the drama that I'm looking for. Do any of you guys watch Loki? I don't even know how many episodes are in the new season. We're on episode like, I think 4 or 5. Oh, it's crazy. Movies about time travel always turn my brain inside out. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more of that shimmer on my lids once my mascara is dry. Let's do blush. I wanted to use one of my new Say Beauty blushes. Let me try to adjust here. There we go. This is their Dew Blush formula, and this is one of the minis from that kit I picked up. It's the shade Chili. It is a mauve color. It's so pretty for fall, and it gives you that like just in from the cold flush to your cheeks. So I'll apply just that little bit, and then we will blend that out with a Luxie F22 tapered highlighter brush. This is my favorite brush for cream blushes. It's also beautiful for powder. Look at that dew. Oh, I love the finish of these. The formula is so beautiful. And they last incredibly well on my skin for a dewy blush. Like, I feel like I can get 8+ hours with no fading. And it doesn't move or disturb the product underneath it. I'm applying this on top of powder bronzer. Oh, I lost an eyelash. Oh, goodbye, friend. I just take what's left over on the bridge of my nose, and then I take a little bit more kind of on my forehead area so that it's just cohesive, and it kind of gives like that flushed kind of sun-kissed look. Oh, I just love this blush. And then, because I always get overexcited when I apply blush, I love blush, it's one of my favorite steps, I take a clean, or not a clean, I take a foundation brush and just kind of tap over if I go in too far, kind of the edges, just to help it blend in a little more seamlessly, and I can tone it down where I want to. I learned that trick from Scott Barnes. He shared that in one of his videos, and it was a game changer for me because I like to go in heavy-handed with blush. For my highlighter, we're going to go in with my Rare Beauty highlighter in the shade Exhilarate. If you saw my previous video, I did have to repurchase this after my son broke it, but I was able to get it during the sale, so that helped it hurt a little bit less. I'm going to apply it with my Units 306 brush, which I believe is a blush brush, but I love it for highlight. Oh, look at that. So stunning. I love, love, love a beaming highlight. It seems like highlight maybe went out of style for a little bit. Like, I've been hearing so many people saying like, I don't wear very much highlight anymore. That is not me. I will be wearing highlight when I'm like a 90-year-old granny. I just love the glow. And this is intense, but you can sheer it out and it blends into the skin beautifully. It is such a beautiful formula. I love how it can give your skin like an almost like dewy glow. Then I pinch my brush, pick up a little bit more, and go in and hit this area of my nose and in between my eyes. And then I'm going to take my little inner corner brush and do the inner corner. Look at how much more awake I look just from that one step. I like to take my inner corner highlight and spread it out. I just love that brightness. I usually take it out to about here, underneath like my iris and pupil. And this formula is just so stunning for an inner corner highlight. Now I'm gonna go over, I'm gonna take my e.l.f. brush again and just add a little more bling and impact to the brow bone. I'm going to add just a little bit more Space Cowboy to my eyelid because I just cannot get enough. Oh, it's so pretty. I think this is my favorite thing that I picked up from Sephora during the entire sales event. It is just so stunning, and it's like the palette of the holiday season for me so far. That's a new launch. Now we're gonna do some setting spray. I'm going to use my Cali Ray Surf Proof. I love this so much. This is a clean and long wear setting spray. It's hydrating. It just melts everything in while locking it in place. And it gives just like a soft veil of hydration. It's so good. And the mister is so soft and perfect. Now while that's drying, I'm going to grab some brow gel. I really like this one from the Beauty Crop. It's their BFF brow gel. I believe it has castor oil in it. And it nourishes your brows and helps them to grow, which, yes please. But it also just locks my brows in place, which I appreciate because like from here over, my brows want to point like down, and I want them to be lifted and sculpted. So this really helps keep them in check. It's a clear gel, but I use it after my pencils, so it's kind of gunky, but please excuse that. That's just the way I do my brows. This was another goodie I got in an Ipsy bag that wound up to be just a total gem. So we're gonna let those brows dry, and then what I do is I'll go in with like a micro brow pencil and I'll fill in any sparse areas. I'm going to take my ColourPop lippy pencil in the shade Clarice. This lip liner is absolutely one of my favorites. It's the perfect pinky nude. As you can see, this one is very well loved. I don't know why I'm trying to talk and line my lips at the same time. I like to overline just a little bit on the top and bottom of my lip, and then I shade the corners and then kind of pull it in so that the lines aren't too harsh. Now I'm going to go in with a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in the shade Dance Floor Princess. This is such a pretty pink. This is in her Kissing formula. I just love it. And then we're going to top it with a gloss. I love the finish of this lipstick on its own. I love this formula. But my lips are feeling a little bit extra dry today. So we're going to add some Lawless Forget the Filler plumping lip gloss on top in the shade Glazed. This is my newest one. It's so pretty. Look at that. I love how this applicator just hugs your lip and it just glides over all my lip lines and gives the smoothest, glassiest look. And it smells so good. I raved about these forever in my last video, so I won't stay on that for too long. Let me get these hair clips out and finish zhuzhing up my hair, and I will be back to show you the final look. Alright my friends, here is the finished look. I'm so pleased with how everything came together. We are definitely going to have to try and get another look at this glitter on the eyes because in low light it is stunning. It looks wet on the eyes and the sparkle is so fine and the dimension, oh, it's just so pretty. I always end my makeup looks with perfume. Obviously not on my face, but I apply my perfume for the day. Today I chose Midnight Cafe from Finery. This is a brand that you can find exclusively at Target. They also have a website, and they are like a designer inspired fragrance brand. I can't remember all the call outs, but they are a clean brand. They are super budget friendly, and I really love like the simplicity of their packaging. Their perfumes come in glass bottles and they last really well on me. I cannot stop using this scent this fall. I believe this one is inspired by YSL's Black Opium, and it is just so yummy. It is so good for fall and winter and date nights, and it's just so good. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope you enjoyed getting ready with me. Let me know if you would like me to do more of these videos, and leave any of your requests below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I will see you in my next one. Thanks again, guys.